Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic of HTML, that is ID. So we are going to talk what is ID, why do we need ID in HTML, and what are the benefits of using ID. So these all questions we will discuss in this particular session. But before we proceed, I just would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be very easy for you to understand the ongoing topic. For time being, we are just focusing on the ID concept, but prior to that you should know what is classes and other basic HTML related things, because it would be really very easy for you if you follow them sequentially. Clear? Fine. Now if I talk about the question, so in every session, like there is one question for all of you. So today's question is, can we use multiple class in a same element? If you know the answer of this question, then you can simply write the answer in the comment section. But in case if you don't know the answer, it's completely fine. You can refer one of our previous session where we have already discussed this thing in detail, and then you can simply share the knowledge in the comment section, and those who will provide the consistent correct answer will be spotlighted in the upcoming sessions for sure. Okay, all right, so I think now we are good to start with session. So if I talk about the code, so I have just noted down the basic HTML code, which include one title in the head section and one heading, which is HTML by Tech Sharmit. So if I show you the output of this thing, so it is coming like this, HTML by Tech Sharmit. Now what we will do, we will firstly put one heading, and then we will start from the definition itself. Okay, so let me put heading here. So I'll write heading, process to use ID in HTML. Okay, so this is the heading. If I show you, it is coming like this, process to use ID in HTML. Now what we will do, we will start with the definition, like what exactly the ID is. So ID is basically an attribute of style tag that we can use in order to associate element uniquely. Okay, so in short, you can say that whenever you want to associate any particular ID with an element, then in that case you can use ID. Now most of the people get confused between the ID and classes, but don't get confused, because they all are working differently. They both are working differently, right? If we talk about the classes, so it is basically, it can be used with multiple elements. Same class can be used for multiple elements, but in case of ID, it is not allowed. In fact, it is not recommended. Clear? So even though like we will discuss the difference also again, because that is very important question in terms of a project. Okay, but for timing, what we are just discussing, what is ID. So you can say ID is something that is used to associate the element with the specific not the name, ID. Okay, all right, so let me show you how we can use it, and then we will also discuss the requirement. So let's start with the requirements. If I show you the code, so right now you can see we have two headings, H1 and H2. So let's say I want to apply some set of properties to H1 heading and some set of properties to H2 heading. Okay, and every time, like right now we have only these two heading, but it might be possible there are multiple heading. So as per the condition, I want to apply the specific set of attributes. Okay, so in that case, what we will do, we will use ID. Let me show you how. So to define the ID, we will use the style tag in the head section. So I'll write here style, and in a style tag we will define the ID. So to define the ID, we are supposed to use hash in the beginning. If we talk about class, then there we were using the dot, but this time we are using ID, so I'm using hash. So you can use hash, and then we can simply write here, after hash we can write ID attribute, or we can simply write heading 1, maybe anything else, heading 1 properties. Okay, fine. So this is the thing that we will specify, then curly braces and enter. Now you can set all those properties which you want to apply to h1 heading. Okay, so in this case I will put firstly the font. So I'll write font maybe 500, not 500, 20 pixels. Then we will apply the background color. It would be black for me, so I'll write black. Font I think we put it wrong. Background color, then we put font size. Font size would be 20 pixels, and here I'll just remove it for now. We'll rewrite it again. Font, instead of font we can write color, and color would be simple white color. Okay, and then we can apply the family, font family. So font family would be for me Times New Roman, and just save it. So after save, you can see the ID has been declared with the name heading 1 properties. Now if I save the code and refresh the browser, it is not coming in the picture, right? Why? Because we have not attached this with heading. So here I will add the this ID here. So I can simply write ID, and then we can put heading 1 properties. And remember one thing, here we are not supposed to use hash. Okay, it is only used for defining the things. Now if I save it and refresh my browser, so you can see it has been applied. All those properties has been applied to this heading 1. Clear? Likewise, if I want to make any changes to the font size, I can make it as 50 pixels and save it. So you can see it is coming like this. Clear? So this is how we can set the properties for the heading. And as I mentioned, like we are not supposed to use it for same property for multiple same ID for multiple elements. Let me show you one thing. If I try to use it, you will see that it is changing the things, right? It is working as expected, but this is not the right way. Why? Because if you are assigning same ID to multiple element, first thing, it would be resulting in unexpected error for your styling. Okay, so don't think that if we can use it, like right now you can see it is doing the same thing, but this is not supposed to do here. So always make sure that you are not assigning same ID to multiple elements. The second problem you might face in future is when you are going to use the JavaScript, at that time it will cause issue, because you are trying to provide same ID to 2 element, right? So it will only look for the first element, and it will not result in the good way. Okay, so that's why it is straightforwardly clear that we are not supposed to provide same ID to multiple element. Instead of that, we can create a separate ID. So let me create another ID for this h2. So here I will write heading 2 properties. Here we will write background color. Background color would be red. Then I'll use color would be white. Then we will set the maybe the font size would be 40 pixels. Then we will set font family. In family we will write maybe this one. Now you can save it and just associate this with new ID. So I'll write ID, and ID would be heading 2 properties, and just remove. If you try to go with the hash, it will not impact anything, right? It's always mandatory to remove that hash from here. And now you can see it is applied. Okay, so this is how we can apply ID to an element in order to set a specific attribute. As I mentioned, like we are using it for the unique purpose, right? So let's say you want to create something for your website, and you know that you are going to apply specific properties to that element. So in that case, we will prefer to use this ID thing. Clear? So I think now this session is clear to all of you that how we can use ID. And if someone asks you in interviews like what is ID, so you can simply say that it is a attribute of style that we can use to apply uniqueness to a particular element, and with the help of id we can apply specific attributes or specific characteristics to particular element. Clear? And this is completely different from classes, so don't get confused. In fact, like I will take one session where I will show you the differences clearly. Okay. And another very important thing is we are not supposed to use same kind of id to multiple element. In fact, even if it is allowing, because sometime it allows, browser shows it as a desired result, but it would for sure go in the error in the future. So don't and never use this thing for multiple elements. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.